Hi guys, Mark Dawes NFPS Limited, Monday morning, and I thought I'd just knock out a quick video post to you because actually it's quicker than doing a written post. It just takes less time, so forgive my idleness, my laziness, but I want to get this out to you straight away. And I wanted to ask you this question. If you gave me 20p and I gave you £1 back, that would be a good deal, agreed? So you've got, a 500% or 400% return on your investment. If you gave me £1 and I gave you £5 back, you think that was a good deal too. And if you gave me £10 and I gave you £50 or £100 back, you'd think that was great. Now, if that was continually happening, you'd continually do it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't stop. Now, I know this sounds pretty mad, but you wouldn't stop doing it. Here's an interesting thing for you. When it comes to marketing, people set budgets. Now, the only reason you're going to set a budget, or the only reason most people set budgets, is because they think they're not going to get a return on their investment. So they think if I spend £50, £100, £1,000, £3,000, I'm going to limit myself to that limit because when the money's gone, the money's gone, which must mean that if you're spending that money, you're not getting a return on investment. Because if I was going to spend £100, I'd want £1,000 back. And if I kept on getting £1,000 for every £100 I put in, I wouldn't stop doing it. Now that seems to make sense, doesn't it? Well, one of the things we're going to be talking to you about on the membership site is something called the lifetime value of a customer and how you can actually do that. Now here's an interesting thing for you. If you had £1,000 right now and you put it in a building society to get a return on your investment, you might get 2.5%, maybe 3% over a 12-month period. So in a year, that building society or bank is going to give you a 3% return on your £1,000, which is roughly 30 quid. So you give them £1,000, they give you £1,030 back. Now a lot of people think that's a good deal. Let me tell you now, it's an absolutely rubbish deal. You're actually better off buying a property and renting the property because you'll make more money on your return of investment. So to give you an example, if you bought a £100,000 property, you put £20,000 down and your mortgage payment on that was, let's say, I don't know, £300 a month, but you rented that property for say £700 or £800 a month, you'd make a £500 return on your investment by the time you paid your mortgage off. So you're borrowing a lump sum, but you're actually, if you make £500 a month, that's £6,000 a year. So I would rather make £6,000 a year than 30. But let me tell you about an even better way. You can get a 5,000% return on your investment. Okay, got that? 5,000%. Now, recently we invested £1,000 and we got £50,000 back. So, in fact, that's not even a £5,000 return. That's a 50,000% return. £1,000, £50,000 return. Now, if I could show you how to do that, would you be interested? Because if you are, you really need to think about becoming a member of this membership site that we're setting up, which is going to go live very, very shortly. We're just tying up a few loose ends on it at the moment. We've used a certain way of marketing that will give us that return on investment month after month after month, which is why we're still here. Now, we're actually going to show you everything on this membership site. We're going to show you how to market because that's what you asked for. And we're going to show you how you can turn £1,000 into £50,000. Now, there are a few things to it. It's not as simple as just throwing £1,000 at something and getting £50,000 back. You have to have certain things in place, but it's absolutely achievable, and I'll show you the facts to prove it to you when you come and join us as a member. Now, in addition to what I've just told you, just a few points of order, if you like, or agenda items, or whatever you want to call it, because I need to get this video out because, as I said, I'm going away shortly. For those of you thinking of coming on the March instructors course, that's the Advanced Restraint Instructors Training course in March, we now have only 2 places available. We were full last week, actually, but 2 people have actually dropped out over the weekends. We now have 2 residential places available. When they're gone, that's it. The Self-Defense Instructors course that's also running in March, we again only have 2 places available. They're the last 2 places, and when they're gone, it's gone. We are organising another self-defence trainers course. That's probably going to happen around about September time. I'm just waiting for our trainers to come back with dates on that one. So if you missed the March one, we'll be doing another one for you in September. Now, there's lots happening out there, lots of really interesting stuff happening out there. And here's an interesting one. We've just finished running a physical intervention trainers course for teaching staff. It was an absolutely cracking course, thoroughly enjoyable. And it actually proved that the system we're running works. The feedback we got from the teachers we trained was that the system that we actually provided them with is simpler to use, easier to use, there's no complex stuff with it, In fact, they could not believe how easy it was to actually learn, teach and implement. And one of the main benefits that they found with our course is that we can tailor stuff and teach them how to tailor stuff to meet the specific individual needs of their children. Now that's a really important thing in itself, because if you've been looking at all the guidance that's been coming out over the past few years, and particularly the Department of Health guidance that came out in April 2014, it talks about positive behavioural support. And part of positive behavioural support means that you need to be able to tailor the restraint package to meet the needs of the individual child or service user if you're working with adults on an individual basis. So it should form part of that individual service user or child's care plan, and as part of that care plan you need a restraint minimisation strategy to reduce the way that you actually, or to reduce the amount of restraint or interventions you use. Our system does that, and by working with the teachers in the school like we did last week, we were able to do that very, very successfully, and they were absolutely astounded at how easy that is and how they can actually implement this moving forward. So here's a point for you. The days of the one-size-fits-all restraint program are finished. They no longer exist. You cannot have a one-size-fits-all program because different staff with different demographics and carrying different injuries with different ages will have different needs, as will the service users. Different service users of different ages will present different challenging behaviours because different things will trigger it, and there'll be different backgrounds to them that will all have a bearing on why they present the behaviour that they present, which results in the need for physical intervention. The day has now come when we need to actually write bespoke training packages. And what we did last week, again, it's not new, but what we did last week with this group of teachers was end up giving them a bespoke training package that specifically meets their needs with all the documentation and all the materials they need to move forward and deliver it. And they were absolutely absolutely astounded with that. And what they really loved was the post-course feedback, the post-course support, the fact that we're there all the time for them after they've gone. Now, if you go to our website, you'll see on the menu bar on the left as you look at it that there is a physical intervention training course for teachers. That's available for you to teach if you are a level 3 advanced trainer with us. And on the refresher course in March and the refresher courses in June and September this year, we're going to actually show you how we do what we do, so how you too can go away and start developing bespoke training courses for schools and other service industry sectors in your area. So that's a really important thing to do. One of the main comments that came out of the training last week was that the training we provided, compared to what they had before, was much, much easier, much simpler to use, easier to learn, easier to teach, and the response we had on this factor was really important. They said the buy-in that they're going to get from their staff is going to be considerably higher than the buy-in they've had in the past, because in the past staff have not wanted to get involved with it because they didn't like what they were being told they had to do, and they didn't like the rigidity and the inflexibility of previous programs. Whilst we were on the course, these teachers went and spoke to their colleagues and said, look, this is how simple it is and this is all you have to do. And actually it's not restraint, it's about part of a behavioural management care plan, and the staff bought into it straight away. And they can see no issues whatsoever with actually rolling this out to staff. So that is a major benefit in training with us. And for those of you that are thinking about training with us, there's a benefit you seriously need to think about. For those of you that are already training with us and are instructors with us, there's something you can now utilise to go into schools and into other service area sectors and say, look, we don't need a one-size-fits-all training program. We'll work with you and we'll actually help you build a bespoke training package that will still cover all the salient points you need to do. Now, like I said, if you're coming on the instructors course or you're coming on the refreshers this year, we're going to show you how to do this. If you're going to join our membership site, that's going to go launch very soon. We're going to take you through the process that we use to actually do this too. So anyway, there it is. I've overrun a little bit, guys, but my apologies for that. But I want to get this blog post out to you straight away because, like I said, I'm going away. Have a great week, and I'll speak to you later on in the week. Oh, one other thing. Bungy Williams, happy birthday, mate. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys.